We had a pretty good football game last night. Return of the Mac. I'll tell you what, man. I don't think anybody had Mac Jones to win against the Rams. That was pretty surprising. Buzzsprout. Uh, Promos on the screen here for anybody who wants audio. You can go to this website on Buzzsprout and get your audio version of the podcast. What's Barb Jones? 3-4 of them, 3-4 of them. What's happening? We're going to go over real quick. It's early in the morning right now. It's 7:30 in the morning. So we're going to go ahead and get the podcast out the way. It is Friday, October 3rd at 7:30 in the morning. So last night was Thursday night football. We're going to go over a couple Sunday games, last night's game. The MLB playoffs just started. It's been real good. Round one is over. I don't like how round one is only 3 games. The wild card round, I wish it was 5. But whatever. Thanks everybody for watching, listening. The TikTok page is probably doing really well, and the YouTube page is doing better. When you upload them YouTube shorts, it seems to kind of work like the TikTok page does. People love YouTube shorts, but you can see all of the information for social media. You can reach me with it on the screen here. My X page, I just post the same stuff I post on TikTok. It doesn't have as many followers. But all the social media is up top there. We're going to start with the Browns game here. I just want to say that I don't really know what to say here, but what did Cleveland exactly, what are they expecting? You start Joe Flacco with the intentions of, I guess they thought Flacco was going to actually get them some wins, and he got them one win. Against Green Bay, which wasn't a gaudy, it was a very close win. But Flacco's been bad. 2 interceptions against the Lions, no touchdowns, 184 yards. So now they're going with Dylan Gabriel. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what is the expectations here? What are the expectations here? Because Dylan Gabriel's not better. He's not better than Joe Flacco. Not saying much. Joe Flacco needs to go home. First of all, let me say this. It's time for Joe Flacco to go home. I understand you're getting paid. If a team's still going to offer you $1 million, couple $1 million to come out and do this, then why not come out and do this? But after this year, it's time for Flacco to go home, bro. Like, why are teams still paying this man? I understand he took the Browns to the playoffs, in the middle of the season, but that's not going to happen again. It's time for Joe Flacco to go home to his family. Dylan Gabriel was not better than Joe Flacco. I don't know. So next in line is Shedeur Sanders, who I think will be playing by week 7, probably week 8. I don't think Dylan Gabriel is going to come out and win either. This Browns offense, the one shining star on the offense is Judkins. Judkins is playing very well for being on this team, which is a very good thing. If your running back can still make gold out of nothing with a team like this. He's scored in the past 2 games. He's had a good amount of carries, a good amount of yards. He's just really looked really good in an offense that isn't really good. And so when you have a player like that, you need to make sure to secure and or take care of that player. But otherwise the Lions roll, and a defense that held up against Green Bay and now gives up 34 points to the Lions. Kind of makes you wonder, think that defense isn't as good as everybody thought. They held Green Bay down, but Green Bay, isn't, and then Green Bay beat the Lions, and the Green Bay defense held the Lions down. But then the Browns come back out and give up 34 points. So the defense didn't play well. The offense didn't play well. Flacco threw 2 interceptions. Judkins was the only touchdown. And now they're going to start Dylan Gabriel, I guess, expecting a change. I don't think there's going to be a change. The Browns play who next? The Vikings. This might be a winnable game with Carson Wentz. This might be a winnable game. If the defense plays like they did against Green Bay, this might be a winnable game. I don't think they're going to beat the Steelers. Possibly, maybe. But the Vikings without, I don't know if JJ's playing or not. Even with JJ playing, this might be a winnable game. That's all I'm saying. The Vikings did not look good against against the Steelers overseas or whatnot. So might be winnable. But I don't think the Browns got all these QBs and it's funny because none of them are working. I don't know what they signed Flacco for. I don't know what they were expecting from Flacco. They could have just started the Browns could have just started Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders at the beginning of the season. That one win, I guess whatever. If you feel like Flacco paying him was worth that one win, but they could have left Flacco alone. There was no reason to even bring the man on the team. The Green Bay and Dallas game here, ended in a tie. It is what it is. But I would like to say a couple things happened here. Green Bay, that defense that's supposed to be such an ultimate defense, it was not so ultimate. Dak Prescott came out and really just kind of exposed that defense with 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Love also had 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. But, this was a really gaudy game in scoring. But I think it really made a testament to the Green Bay defense because the Green Bay defense did not hold up like they had been holding up against other teams. I just want to say that this looked really good with as far as George Pickens having to be the number one receiver over CeeDee Lamb not being there. Pickens looked great. Can he continue doing that? Yeah. But he looked just really, really good. It was surprisingly good. Prescott looked surprisingly good. We all know Dak Prescott can do this, but against this Green Bay defense that's supposed to be as elite as they were, he came out there and really just kind of embarrassed this defense. The game ended in a tie, which I'm sure nobody was happy about. Who else also looked good? Romeo Doubs looked good with 3 touchdowns, I believe it was. So, how many touchdowns did Doubs have? Did he have 3? Or was that Jacob? I thought, Romeo Doubs had, or was it 2 touchdowns? 1, 2, he had 3. Romeo Doubs 3 touchdowns. So, that is just that's high end offense right there. That's really high end offense. The 2 TDs from Pickens, 134 yards, is some high end offense. And I have Pickens and Dak on my fantasy team, man, and that just worked out great. It helped me get the win for the week. I think Romeo Doubs is going to be the number 1 receiver. I already expected that. I also have Romeo Doubs on my fantasy team. So I think that he's going to be their number 1 receiver until Reed returns. So, the 3 touchdowns was surprising, but Dobbs being the number 1 target was not surprising to me. I wish this game didn't end in a tie, but it did. Which is kind of ironic because Dallas needed a win and now they're 1-2-1. The Packers are 2-1-1. Dallas needed that win to get to 500 and now they're still below 500. So pretty ironic. I think this hurt Dallas more than it hurt hurt the Packers. But no one wants to see a tie. I was talking with a buddy last night about how games should, they need to keep going until you get a winner. This football tying stuff is stupid, for a lack of better words. This tying a game in football is stupid. That I know that it's football and players are tired and they're beat up, but you need to go until you get a winner. And I think that a lot of football players would agree with that. Jordan Love didn't look too happy about tying when they interviewed him at the end of the game. He said that no one's happy with a tie. He wasn't happy. No one's happy with a tie. You need to keep going back and forth until you get a winner. I don't know what made the NFL think that a tie, is a good thing, but you need to keep going until you get a winner, dude. Last night, the Mac attack, Mac Jones came into the Rams' home and beat them. Mac Jones, that's been traded around Mac Jones, not only beat them with just him and McCaffrey as his main starter, but the 49ers are missing Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. They're missing a plethora of Jennings. They're missing wide receiver 1, 2, and 3, tight end, and all the backups came in and beat the Rams. And I'm sorry, but this is just a bad look for the Rams. That defense held firm, held them 23 points. The offense couldn't really get going until the second half or late. This just didn't really look good for the Rams. And you lost at home to Mac Jones. So I'm just, great win for the 49ers, 4-1. I had the Rams winning that division. I don't know anymore. You're not supposed to lose to Mac Jones at home. So great win. I don't have a whole lot else to say about this game except the 49ers, just with these no-name guys, no one knows these guys that were catching passes. And Mac Jones went out there and made these guys look like number one draft picks. And that's just wild to me that the Rams defense was that bad. The Rams defense was bad the first half. They tightened up the second half. But the first half, the Rams defense was horrible. Mac Jones was out there looking like Joe Montana. It was bad. And to allow Mac Jones to look that good doesn't say a lot about your defense. That defense was getting shredded by Mac Jones. So, pretty sure 49er fans are extremely happy about this. 49ers have the Buccaneers next, which would be a pretty tough game. And the Rams got the Ravens next, which is also going to be a very tough game. That's all I got to say about that. Really sad loss for the Rams. Got pounded by Mac Jones. I don't have nothing else to, I'm pretty sure Vegas made a lot of money on this one because I don't think too many people had Mac Jones beating Matthew Stafford. That's all I'm going to say. So we got the MLB playoffs are in full swing. The first round is over. Cleveland, my Guardians are eliminated. And I will say that Cleveland wasn't even supposed to be here. Cleveland had all these players injured. They lost their closer, the gambling pitcher, the gambling. Clase was gambling. Ortiz was gambling. They got rid of Santana. The team wasn't that great of a hitting team to begin with. Besides Quan and Ramirez, this team just doesn't hit well. So Cleveland went on that 15-game streak to win to get in here, but they weren't even supposed to be here. And you can tell the talent level, they weren't supposed to be here. They always have trouble scoring runs. That's my team, though, and I love my team. And I just, it was fun to see them play in the playoffs. I just wanted them to make the playoffs. The Tigers have a more talented roster. These players are better than what's on the Cleveland roster. And now we got Tigers versus Seattle, which is going to be a banger, man. That's going to be a banger. Yankees and Red Sox. I just want to say this about this series, that this is a testament to that the Red Sox need more pitching. The Red Sox have Crochet, who is the number one ace. And after Crochet, them pitchers be getting whacked around, and that's what we just saw here. Crochet dominated his start, and then the Red Sox had nothing else for the Yankees, and the Yankees came and got them two in a row, and that is because the Yankees have more overall better. No, they don't have Crochet, but they have overall better pitching, and they have overall better hitting. You know, this roster hitting wise, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, you know, this is a little bit better hitting than Rafaela. These guys just don't hit. Durant hits well. Story was on a tear. They got Bregman, but I just don't think this team is up to hitting par with the Yankees. So, besides that game one where Crochet dominated, there just wasn't. And then even in that game, they only won. They only won by that first game that they played. It was 3-1. So I mean, it's not like even with Crochet playing and dominating, it was 3-1. The offense did not explode all series. They scored 3, 3, and 0. And so the Yankees had scored 1, 4, and 4, but that was enough. The Red Sox were outplayed on both sides except for that game one, and that was because of Crochet. So that's all I have to say about that. Is the Red Sox need better pitching. As far as the playoff picture, it just looks great. I can't wait until I think we got some games today. I don't know, but I can't wait. Seattle, Detroit, the Blue Jays and Yankees, I think will be a lot closer than what people think. I don't think the Yankees are just going to walk over them. The Blue Jays do have a chance. Brewers and Cubs is going to be a slapper. I got the Brewers. LA and Phillies. The Phillies always drop the ball in the playoffs. And for that reason, I got to take LA. But the Phillies are equipped to beat LA. They can do it, but they always choke in the playoffs. And I'm going to go that route and say that they're probably going to choke. That's all I got for y'all today on the podcast, man. 17 minutes on a Friday morning at 6:30 a.m. That's all I got. Make sure that you tune in to whatever you tune into. If you're listening to this on the audio, then come on back and listen again. I much appreciate all of y'all. Here's the Buzzsprout promo once again for the people watching the video. And we're done in here, man. Have a good weekend. I did this at 7:30 a.m. because I have a whole bunch of stuff to do today. Now the podcast is out the way, and I'm gone. Got too much crap to do. Enjoy your weekend of sports. We got some college football tonight. There was like 5 games. Just enjoy your weekend of sports, man. A lot of crap.